What's up, guys? It is officially 2023. It's 5:43 in the evening on the 1st of January, 2024. My mistake. I'm looking back into the past. I'm looking back when I should be looking forward. But it's really hard right now because I'm dealing with a pretty hefty hangover. I'm going to call it a relapse. As much as I didn't want to admit it, I think for those following along with the last few videos, especially just the last couple after having been away from the camera for 12 days. I came back at day 72, and I think I mentioned I tried to put as positive of a spin on it as possible by saying things like, yes, I did drink, but I didn't drink as much as I normally would, and I had days off in between. Well, you know what, you scrap that shit. That is just an alcoholic trying to make excuses. I'm going to call it a relapse, and my relapse is now over. It is the 1st of January. Last night, I would probably say over the last 15 or 16 days, however long it's been since I took that first drink, which was a drink of Bailey's, for anyone wondering. For the last 15 or 16 days, I've woken up with an absolutely horrendous hangover 4 times, including this morning. It's been 4 out of 16 days, 1 in every 4, that I've woken up with an absolutely horrendous hangover. And that's because I've drunk. I've drunk the amount that I normally did every single day, and I'm not used to it. And I may have even pushed it just that little bit too far. And my body is just, on those days that I wake up just dying, it's screaming out for hydration, it's screaming out for a break. It is trying to do whatever it takes to detox this fucking poison out of my system, and it's self-induced. That's the sad thing. So today I've woken up with another pretty bad hangover. I've still got a fucking headache, but I'm trying to look on the bright side. I'm about to go back over to my unit for, I'm going to say, the second to last time. I've got a couple of things that I need to sort out, a couple of little jobs that need doing. The tenant moves in on Friday. Today's Monday. I've got today off work because of the public holiday. Back at work tomorrow. I'm hoping that with a decent sleep, this headache and this sickness will subside. That's what normally happens. But yeah, I mean, I sadly, guys, this 365-day challenge to remove alcohol has come undone. It's come unstuck. It started slowly, but as the days went on, as the stress in my life increased, I will say that a big catalyst for it was dealing with this unit. That's no excuse though, but that is the excuse that I'm going to use, because if it wasn't for that, there were times where I just felt so fucking overwhelmed, and so incapable of dealing with this type of stress, that I just resorted back to old habits, old tendencies, and that was to drink. It didn't do me any good, but at the time it felt like it did. And I'm going to go back to a line that I remember vividly hearing when I was listening to the audiobook by James Alan Carr, is it? Alan Carr, geez, that seems like a lifetime ago. It's probably about 6 months ago that I was listening to that, but there was a line there, and it got me thinking, and it said, do you believe that drinking alcohol makes you happy? And I was walking along, and I said back to it, I said to myself, yeah, I do believe that it makes me happy, but it doesn't. It actually doesn't, because I've felt so much happier sober in the last 75 days than I ever did at any point over the last 15 days whilst I was drinking. And I can safely say that. So it's like, it's just not worth it. At the end of the day, it's just not worth it. Like, I've woken up, like I've let everything go, you know, as far as my training in the gym. I haven't gone for a run in a week and a half, but that is because I have been injured, unfortunately. But like, you know, it's struggle street. When you fucking wake up with a hangover, it's the heart rate is you know, going through the roof. I mean, you can see it in my eyes. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired at the moment, and you know, I don't want to begin living like that. I can't live like that. I simply can't. I've got too much to do. I've got too many responsibilities in life to allow myself to slip back into those habits. But I'll leave you with this. I'll come back and talk to you once I've got these jobs done, which are stressing me out. Everything stresses me out at the moment. I'm not coping. I haven't been coping well, sadly. But you know, that's life. That's life. And I'll leave you with this. You know, I remember saying, I think it was on day 40 or something, I got really emotional and really just I don't even know how to describe it. That's the thing. That's another thing, man. I can feel my vocabulary leaving me badly. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm sober, when I wake up sober, when I wake up having had a good rest, my body battery is recharged. I feel switched on. I feel smart. I feel intelligent. I feel worthy of a conversation. And unfortunately, bring alcohol into the mix and I lose all of that. But I'm trying my best not to be so hard on myself. I'm trying to say, right, it's a new year. 2024 is going to be absolutely brilliant, and I'm going to make sure of that. You know, it's the only person who's ever going to make sure that happens is me. So I've said it now, and it's going to happen. And so far, I haven't consumed any alcohol, and I am going to do something productive, and I'm going to get a good sleep tonight. I bought a book today, which is something different. So I'm doing all the right things to get back on track as fast as possible. But I'll leave you with this. There was a point there I was just going so well, and the thought of having a drink just simply wasn't worth it anymore. I realized that it wasn't worth it anymore. But at the same time, I realized that it was always a choice. Even in the past, when I said that I was addicted and I couldn't stop, it was always a choice. But the reason that I continued to choose to drink rather than not was because I didn't have enough in my life that was worth not drinking for. But now I do. But it's so very easy to lose sight of that if you start drinking every day. And you know, if I let this go on for much longer, I'd start to convince myself that I don't have enough in my life, enough positive things in my life to outweigh the decision to drink. And that's a scary thought. That's a dangerous thought. It's a thought that I don't want to entertain. And so, you know, it's almost 6 o'clock at night. There's no bottle stores open. There's no alcohol in the house. Miffy is keen to commit to this with me. She's been drinking quite a bit recently, which is fine. You know, she's not the one with the problem. I am, and I've got to deal with it. But to not have any alcohol in the house is going to help. So I'm really glad about that. But I'd better stop talking and get this shit done. And well, I'll be back soon. The 1st of January 2024. Happy New Year to all of you guys out there. I'm sorry I let you down. I let myself down. I woke up with a fucking roaring headache, roaring hangover. But we've pushed through, and we're almost at the end of the day. But sadly, you know, my feelings have been negative throughout the day. My feelings have been, let's just get this day done with, which is wishing away a day, wishing away a day above ground, which is just, it's not on, man. It's not on. As humans, we're so blessed. So for me to be thinking like that is just fucked. And the only reason I'm ever thinking like that is because I'm hungover, because I've drunk the night before. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Here we go. Okay, put that up the top and start squeezing, I assume. All right, let's fucking do this. All right. Certainly learning on the job. That shit is a lot stickier than I'd originally thought. And I didn't have anything to smooth it with. If I had have read the instructions, it would have said get a spatula and make sure that it's got some detergent on it, because that shit is extremely sticky. So I used my finger. I feel like I've put enough in there, hopefully it doesn't begin spewing out when they have their first shower, which would not be good. But I am going to be a receptive landlord, and I will bend over to please my tenants, because they are paying a premium price, so they need a premium product. And effectively, I'm the plumber, I'm the electrician, I'm the carpenter, I'm everything at the moment. But the only thing that's left to do, for me at least, is to just give the oven a once over, or at least make it look as good as possible. I'm not going to get in there and fucking go crazy, although I might. I mean, I've done that for the rest of the house. I may as well finish strong, but I'm not going to do that tonight. So we've got all of our little bits and bobs done, which is a good feeling. It's going to allow me to enjoy the rest of the evening. We're going to go for a walk as the sun sets, as a family, and it is what it is, man. It's been a pretty emotional day. It's been like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. My hangover started to clear at about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It's 7 now. If I said that I could finally concentrate on my life and not be always pulled mentally towards that apartment, I'd be lying, because the tenancy hasn't begun. They haven't paid their deposit. I don't have money coming in every fortnight. My interest rates have just gone up. So, the final piece of the puzzle, and I've said the final piece of the puzzle like 4 or 5 times now over the last week, but the final piece of the puzzle will be when I get that first payment. We're close. We're closing in. And if I gave him the contract tomorrow, he might even pay it straight up. I might actually be able to get that money in my account by tomorrow if I pull my finger out once again and get the tenancy agreement to him. Then it'll be up to him when he wants to pay it. But I do have a draft. I'm using a template. It's a good template. And I'm going to forward that to him tomorrow morning, I've decided. And then after work, I'm going to try and get a workout in. Then I'm going to come over and clean the oven. And that, my friends, will be my contribution to the unit and getting it presentable for rent absolutely done. The only thing that remains after that is getting the backyard paved, but I won't be doing that. And they said they're quite willing to move in without it being done. So, big day tomorrow, back to work, in earnest. There's no more public holidays except for Australia Day, which comes up, Anzac Day as well. Or are they... I have a feeling that... No, Anzac Day is in April. Australia Day is like the 25th of January, so that's the next public holiday. we do get pretty treated. Like I started work at a really, really good time to have all the public holidays off over Christmas, and then we've got Australia Day, and then we've got Easter, then we've got Anzac Day, then we've got another day in the Northern Territory called May Day, and the list goes on. And then we've got Show Day, and then from about July onwards, it's a dry spell until we get towards Labour Day in October, I think. And then, or maybe that's a New Zealand thing. And then, of course, Christmas and New Year, and we do it all over again. Now, I don't think that I'm going to be in that job in a year's time, but stranger things have happened. I'm going to give it my all, as I always do. I'm going to be as positive as possible, as optimistic as possible. It's the only way. So the title of this video was indeed that I have had a relapse, but this is the way that I'm working through it. Making videos like this, reflecting, analysing why I've done it, how it's happened, and stopping it before it snowballs and becomes something bigger than it already is. And that's what happens with alcohol, man. That's what happens when you've already had a daily habit. You know, daily drinking to most people is just completely out of the question. They're like, what the fuck? How could you do that? But it's because you just feel so shit day to day that the only thing that makes you not happy, and I came to terms with this before, I realized that, you know, it doesn't make me happy as such, but it makes me numb. And at times that can be comfortable. It can be a comfortability thing. It doesn't make me happy. It's a depressant. But it makes me numb. And at times that's what I've wanted. But I've got a life to live, man. So I don't want that right now. Anyway, I'm almost home. We're going to go for a walk. It's the perfect time of night. It's going to be beautiful. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 8 in the morning at work. I'm going to take my camera to work, and I'm going to discuss a few things, and hopefully my headache's gone, because I've still got it. And I mean, I'm feeling bloated, like I'm feeling bloated. My eyes are like bloodshot. Like, it's not good. It is not good whatsoever. Physically, it's a poison, man. It's a fucking poison. And the last bottle of poison that I had was a bottle of Wild Turkey bourbon. Back on the good stuff, but not anymore. So Happy New Year, and I'll see you tomorrow.